the estimates I've looked at is that if we switch to regenerative and organic farming, the functional carrying capacity on the planet is somewhere around 12 billion people. Then we will start running into trouble because we will max out the rate at which you can extract from the planet and get a biological return. But we're coming to 8 billion right now. Somewhere around 8 billion people on the planet, if I remember right. It's close to 8 billion. And so what are we doing? We're going to Bill Gates' fake meat factories, and we're doing genetic modification, and we're doing all sorts of stuff that without a long history lesson and science lesson isn't going to work. Why? Because your genes evolved for millions of years in nature, as nature, and when you genetically modify something that you hardly even understand, one gene can change a cascade of things that you cannot predict. And a good example of this is that, I got to remember how this research worked, but what they showed is something very simple. I'm trying to remember a research paper that was pretty profound. But what they did was they showed how a certain wasp will bury its eggs in a specific type of flower. Then what they did is they specifically got parasites that attack that flower. And once the flowers begin to get attacked by that parasite, the flower sent a message to the wasps and other insects to come eat those parasites. But a genetically modified flower won't do that.
Wow.
So the research showed that nature is so interconnected through billions of years of evolution in ways that we can't yet conceive. And a phenomenal description of that is what happened when they put wolves back in the Yellowstone Park. It changed the entire terrain. It changed the way rivers flowed. It changed the way trees grew. It changed the percentage of other animals. It changed everything by doing nothing but putting wolves back. And it shocked even the most ardent biologist, right? So when you get a guy like Bill Gates that thinks he's just going to tinker with shit and going to have, which he now has, plants, tomatoes, and all sorts of shit, manufacture vaccines inside of them and pesticides inside of them. Okay, good. Let me ask you, how many brain cells do you need to see pictures all over the internet and on television of people applying pesticides wearing hazmat suits and not ask the question, if that guy's got to wear a hazmat suit, why would I eat that food? Right? In the United States, in the year 2017, in the top 10 countries of the world for pesticide use, do you realize that they put the equivalent of pesticides in 2017 on the ground in only 10 of 195 countries, and every country in the world uses pesticides? I researched this. There's not a single pesticide-free country I could find. Only 10 countries put the equivalent of 53 million 50-gallon bathtubs of pesticides on the soil in their countries, which completely wipes out the microorganism population, which means malnourished, sick plants. And only the organisms that can survive that, which are usually pathogenic, can exist. That's why you get E. coli in processed food, not healthy bacteria. You take milk from a cow, it rots, it becomes buttermilk. Take the shit out of your refrigerator and let it rot. That comes from a store, and it smells like hell warmed over, and it'll make you violently sick, and pathogenic organisms will grow in it. The organisms that grow in real milk become food. The organisms that grow in fake food or processed food or engineered food become death. You can't turn something that's not life into life. So once you start playing with genes, you're actually tinkering with the mind of Mother Nature. And, you know, a good analogy for that is an eye can never see itself and a tooth can never eat itself. The point I'm making is to try to figure out your maker is like a watch trying to figure out its maker. We can try, But to have the hubris to think that you can just tinker with genes and get rid of the idea of organic farming and biodynamic farming and free-range animals and then say we shouldn't farm animals anymore, they're causing a greenhouse effect, is to actually say Mother Nature's stupid and we're smarter and we're going to do it in a lab.
Yeah. It's really depressing to see how many people alive in decision-making positions think that, with every fiber of their being, that they can outsmart nature. And that if we just do it for long enough, we'll come up with enough solutions. But it's almost like a doctor who applies a medication without looking at the root cause, and that medication causes downstream symptoms or side effects, and then they just give another medication to combat or to cover up those downstream side effects.
That's very profitable.
Yeah, right. So on and so forth. So it's like, does it just come back all of what you're talking about to profit? Like, it's really depressing when you think about it.
That's why they say money is the root of all evil. That saying's been around since money's been around.
Thank you so much for listening.
If you enjoyed that, check out right over here for some more fun clips.
Oh, and you're going to want to subscribe.
Bye.